The Music is Life podcast has our own merch now over on tpublic.com. Click the link below in the video description. Looking for some new threads? We got t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts, tank tops, baseball tees, and also clothes for kids and onesies for your little infant metalheads. Don't want clothes but love the Java? We got you covered with coffee mugs and travel mugs. Need protection for your electronics? We've also got phone and laptop cases. We've got everything you're looking for at the tpublic.com Music is Life podcast store. Use my link below for fast service. Thanks for your support. TerraNut is proud to offer you a natural nut bar chock full of healthy fats, minerals, and protein that meet your demands. Go to their website, www.terranut.com. You can order from them directly and they will ship it to you. Use my coupon code LOUMAVS and you will get a 25% discount on your first order. TerraNut Superfood Snacks, www.terranut.com. Don't forget to use coupon code LOUMAVS at checkout. Fuel your life.
Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, look no further than the Rat Style Review Network. Rat Style Review is taking over the podcast world with plenty of shows to choose from within their network of entertaining programming, including the flagship show Rat Style Review with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and Lou Mavs, as well as occasional co-hosts Manny Mejias and James Lilquist. We also have the official Rat Style Review spin-offs such as Album vs. Album, Screams from the Grave, where we discuss beloved yet forgotten hard rock and metal albums of the past, and a King Diamond podcast called This Broadcast Belongs to Them. We've also got Old Man Metal's Musings, Beyond Bushido, a podcast dedicated to pro wrestling and MMA with James Lilquist and Eric Adams.
No relation to the guy from Manowar or the mayor of New York City.
The Timo Tolkki podcast featuring Stradivarius and Avalon founding member Timo Tolkki. The BS Sessions with Mark and Jerry. Just the Cheese Please, a podcast dedicated to cheesy films of the 1980s with Tara J. and Adam. And the Music is Life podcast with Lou Mavs. The Rat Style Review Network is your go-to one-stop shop for the best podcasts out there today. Go to ratstylereview.com for more info and to find out where you can find, follow, subscribe, and comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and all streaming platforms. The Rat Style Review Network. We're taking over.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
We are ready and waiting for you now. If it's a fight that you dare see, we've acquired our strength through pain. No more are we pathetic again. You are the reason why we claim that we've all become this way. And I regret this prison that I've created for myself. Who can it be? Who makes us cry? Won't save us from ourselves? I close my eyes and then I pray that revenge can be as sweet as it sounds. We are the rebels that fall from your hate as you play out. Someone to fight with you, to argue to, or make them all yell. My heart still bleeds, my eyes still cry, and I can't forgive you for this.
Music is Live podcast. This is your host, Lou Mavs. Check us out over at musicisLivepodcast.com. Once I promise to update the website. Welcome to Tromaville. I'm here with my buddy Matt Mikolow.
What's going on?
We are going to see the premiere of the new Troma film, #Shakespeare Shitstorm, over at the Museum of Moving Image in my hometown of Astoria. Let's watch.
Our revels now are ended, and these, our actors, as I foretold you, are spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped mountains, the solemn temples, the glorious palaces, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherits shall dissolve.
Those scat-covered snowflakes are caught in the shitstorm! I found a cure for opioid addiction. What I didn't realize is that the opioid addiction is a $50 billion industry, enriching the elites. There I was, my life's work stolen from me, betrayed by my own sister, shunned from society. All these years I've been planning my revenge against Avon Bard and all the world. I had Ariel infiltrate their boat and using gallons of whale laxative, lured them to their doom.
How beauteous mankind is, O brave new world that has such people in it.
Tis I who's beckoning. Time's up and welcome to your final reckoning.
We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep.
Woo! Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for buying Troma.
This is so cool. Every time a movie shows for Troma, you could depend on finding merch here at the table. I plan on buying some. I hope my wife can forgive me, but oh well, it is what it is. Want to plug Troma Now?
Yeah, Troma Now! All of Lloyd's titles, all of the Troma distribution titles, and hundreds of fucking hours of extras, cult indie titles from underground directors like me.
Plug
check
your film,
it out.
plug your film.
Kindness of Strangers. It's a short playing on Troma Now. Among a myriad of other things, you gotta go get it. Troma Now. Go get it. $4.99 a month or $50 for the entire year, and the first month is free. Troma Now!
Awesome. This is going on the Music is Live podcast YouTube page. Can I have your name, please?
Hell yeah, Lucky Cerruti.
Lucky Cerruti. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Lou
to
Mavs.
meet you. Thanks
Cheers.
so much.
No problem. This is like the coolest entrance to a movie theater I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Matt, go ahead.
Going to the movie theater?
Why not? Let's see how it looks. That's the most badass you've ever looked, my friend. Very nice. I need to put a techno beat to that. So the rule is to come into the theater, you have to have your mask on. So 2 hours of this. Yeah, it is what it is. All for Troma.
I'm not wearing a mask.
Such a rebel.
Thank you very much, and unlike the Oscar people, I thank my wife first. And the commissioner right over there, stand up, produced the movie with Mr. John Brennan and Mr. Justin Mark. Thank you so much for coming and supporting this amazing museum. Troma movies are very similar to the main
attraction here, the Jim Henson display. And so if there's nobody familiar with us, just think of Oscar the Grouch. This movie is based on The Tempest. I'm sure you've all read it and know it very well. How many actually know The Tempest? Woo! Oh, wow, this is the most erudite audience. Usually 600 people, there are like 2 people that raise it. Well, thank you, that's going to be good. There are 2 themes. One is that from the time my wife and I first saw each other, which was over 50 years ago, she watches these chat shows in the morning, like the Today Show and that crap. And it is garbage, but it's a way to wake up. The ads, most of the ads are about drugs and pills, and you have 3 generations of kiddies, children, running around in rompers, listening to this stuff, and it's in their brains. Now, drug, pill, drug. So, hey, 300,000 opioid deaths this year. You know, Putin's trying to beat that, but I don't think Putin will beat it. Sorry. So that's the one theme, and then the other major theme, and there are a lot of little things. The other, and if you know The Tempest, I think you'll have some additional fun. The other thing is this getting pounded on social for putting up your recipe for fried chicken, and if you're a celebrity, you get all sorts of hate for that. You didn't wash the chicken enough, you know. And I've gotten a lot of stuff on the. I got luckily our fans took care of it, but I had 2 third-rate podcasters try to destroy the poor old man, and only for talking about free speech. That's it, free speech. They didn't like it. But the fans totally destroyed them. And then there was another liar who made a lot of money, right-wing stuff on YouTube, and hooked me in with Pizzagate. he won't do that again, I'll tell you that.
Fire herpes!
Of me and my own baby, Charlotte Kaufman, who's in the room, who was DP on Troma movies. She's filming, there she is, filming. Anyway, Lily Hayes Kaufman made the short that you're going to see right before it. Wonderful. And Fleming shot it. So I think the Twitter hate and all that stuff and the snowflakes, that got to me. And Yale University has totally capitulated to the whatever it is, the empowered, what is it, the entitled gang, They're happy to go screaming and lynching, using Justice Thomas's words, a Nobel Prize winning scientist who also happened to write a bestseller. They attack him. They won't even let him talk. Because Yale told the students, these are the smartest students supposedly in the world. They weren't when I was there. Probably going over it. But the college is advising the students what to wear for Halloween. Don't wear a Mexican hat. Don't, you'll see, you'll get that, you'll see it in the movie. They've increased administration at Yale and they've decreased professors. So it's all, they all have to find something to do, and then there are all these empowerment people who just attacked it was shameful, it was obscene. And nobody, not one person, it was the Oxbow incident, that's what it was. And of course the professor and his wife quit. The wife wrote an open letter. That's why I can't make movies that anyone understands. The wife of this brilliant scientist, who also a very important professor, wrote an open letter saying, why do Yale students have to be taught that searching for Elmo is acceptable and a Mexican hat isn't? You know, don't you think they're smart enough? And then, whoa, boy, did they get that? She got hate and then this mob came in. It's on YouTube, you can find it. But that pushed me over the line to make it. And The Tempest is my favorite play. We can talk more about that later. The Tempest is, I started reading it, and I went to see it with my mother when I was 8 years old. And if you've seen Mother's Day, the 2 brothers and the mother, those what it was like in the dark watching Maurice Evans play Crossbow. But I read it a few times in school in Yale, and I wanted to wait till I was a losing power old guy and could really feel Prospero, which is why James Gunn and I made Romeo and Juliet, which was basically my wife's first. My wife and my first. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'm sorry I'm talking too much.
Okay. Before we get started with the film, we wanted to bring out producer John Brennan, who's going to bring out the cast and crew of Shitstorm.
All right, everybody, are you ready for this?
2018. So big up to Astoria, and thank you to the museum for having us. This is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is very prestigious. Before we begin, I was asked to grab as many of the cast and crew as I could in the lobby, so cast and crew, please come out on stage! Please! And prestigious cast and crew of Shakespeare Shitstorm, and if there are any people in the audience that I did not get to find, please stand up! Stand up, please! Give yourself...
Get one last round of applause, and then we're going to start the film. We'll see you right after.
Producer and creator of the country Albania, where we shot a lot of this movie. First American company to film a narrative in Albania, thanks to this gentleman. The only show on Shudder that has any ratings are produced by these two guys, and Matt Mangiarides, Joe Bob Briggs' Last Driving. Troma people too, actually getting paid. It's amazing.
Let's get into all that in the Q&A. I don't want to hold up the movie. Thank you, though. That's it. Thank you very much for the plug.
Are we going to have Toxie up here?
Thank you, everybody.
Lloyd, don't sit on your bike.
Life imitating art.
What'd y'all think?
Smells like... Thank you. And if I'm not mistaken, Brenda Callisto is in the room, and Dylan Mars.
Anybody who was in the movie, stand up.
Yes, please.
Teresa, Alvin.
Monique Dupree, Caliban. Thank you again. Thank you, Jesse, so much for this evening. It makes it all worthwhile.
The honor is all mine.
There's either a very small dwarf or a 5-year-old, 8-year-old child. It's not Peter Dinklage. No. I only said that because Peter's starring in the new Toxic Avenger, the good one, the $1 billion remake. I mean, no, I meant the almost good one. Sorry, Toxic. Jesse.
So, just wanted to start out saying everybody loved the film, of course. When I first saw this film, I was doing coverage for Fantasia 2020, doing remote coverage. It's a real shame couldn't see it live in the theater. But I was struck. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was watching at home, and we got to the scene where the party is beginning, and we have the woman come out in the wheelchair and her voice box saying, "Let's get this party started." And it's about 3 in the morning, I lost my mind. I went and I was banging on my brother's door. I was like, "You gotta come see this scene, at least come see this scene." It's a wonderful film.
See, you can buy an Oscar. You cannot buy.
Buy this. No, you can't buy that. And I have much love.
Thank you
for Troma, of course. But it is a masterpiece. It really is. It is one of, if not the masterpiece of your filmography.
Take the compliment.
Thank you.
Please take the comment. But of course, you didn't do it alone. I mean, we brought them up before, the wonderful cast and crew, and I wish that you guys could be up here. There was time constraints and other issues with doing a longer panel, so I do apologize. It is not out of Lloyd's selfishness that he is up here alone, and that is certainly not the case.
Thank you for saying that.
No, because you're absolutely
Again,
absolutely
Justin
generous.
Martell and John Brennan and my wife, the commissioner, packed up. And it's definitely the best cast and crew I've had in over 50 years, and that's saying a lot.
So, I do want to start out with where this idea comes from, Why do you want to do The Tempest? Is there something about, especially in your final monologue as Prospero, there's such an honesty to it. So is it specifically the Prospero character that attracted you to doing this adaptation?
The Tempest was always my favorite Shakespearean play, and there's good reason. It's the trippiest, it's got a monster, it's all the world loves lovers, there's a fairy, it's mystical, it deals with the four elements. If you get into, if you drill down in, it's a fascinating play. And what makes it really challenging, it's all set up, right? There's all this stuff, and then Prospero says, okay, let's go home, I forgive you. And, so it was very challenging, that part. But James Gunn and Troma team made Romeo and Juliet. I would have done the Prospero thing, but I wanted to really feel Prospero. And now I feel it, I get it. Prospero's losing power, he gets banished. I'm becoming definitely feeble and getting swept deeper and deeper down into the underground. Oh, wait a minute, Brandon Bassam is out there. Brandon Bassam, the writer. The next thing. How lucky was I, man? How lucky. And Dave Friedman, too.
So you get the idea, and you hand it off to Brandon and the team to write. So I want to know about that process.
Gabe Friedman's father saw something in National Geographic about a fecal bloom, and Gabe had filmed one of these. How do you say it? The big boat with the rich doctors and rich people to get rewarded for selling drugs. And he filmed it. The stuff in that movie is exaggerated, but it's kind of what Gabe told me. So then that plus Shakespeare, and then Brandon took these really stupid ideas and made Spun Gold.
Originally, it was supposed to be ayahuasca was going to be what caused the shitstorm, and all the executives were going to shit all over each other out of hallucinations. It was going to be very trippy. But I'm kind of glad that we did the whale feces, because it's, the photorealistic whales that we got in Albania and the Coast Guard ship, thanks to Justin Martel, who got us a connection with the Albanian Coast Guard. All that stuff is up on screen, and it's amazing. The photorealistic whales.
Well, actually, Justin had the Albanians are the only ones who have really good trained whales and they defecate corn. Vegan whales. It's pretty amazing.
Why corn, Lloyd? Why corn?
It's funny.
That's filmmaking. So you had mentioned in the intro about 70% of the film was filmed in Astoria, right?
Yes, most of than Albania, right?
Yeah, we did a place called Central Bar Lounge. Was a good 16 days at least there, and half the club was a club, and the other half was a restaurant. So the restaurant portion is where we did the yacht stuff, and then we would have holding in the club section, and then we would switch over and have the club stuff that we shot, and the yacht section would then be the holding. So that place really came in handy. And then on top of that, I was just watching the credits here. All the establishments and businesses and things that were giving us things. I mean, we got free energy drinks from Cocaine and Balls, and we also got great days from Brooklyn Fireproof, which is a soundstage here in Brooklyn, and that they all came through. That's where the alley was. So a lot of places gave us really great deals.
It really helped a lot.
Which is wonderful, but where does the Albania shoot come into it? Like, why Albania? How does that come together?
Justin Martel. He
has
Justin
Martel. One of the
late Justin Martel.
Great.
Breaking news.
That's why he's not up here with us. No, but he has a company called Pioneer Media, and they go out to places in Eastern Europe and countries such as that, and have relations with the film consulates, the film commissions, and get things done for a little bit cheaper than it is here in America.
The real problem is the mainstream is chicken. You know, right? They're all afraid to lose their jobs. They don't want to take a risk. So we were willing to take the risk, and the Albanians were willing to give us a great deal, thanks to Justin. So we got very, very lucky. And they spent months training those damn whales. I tell you, we got amazing behind the scenes. No, but seriously, We took a risk, a country that was the longest running dictatorship in history, probably, and they're trying to start a film industry, and the way that they give incentives. So here we are, and after Justin brought us, he and others have brought these much bigger movies to Albania. So once again, Troma leads the way.
They also rebuilt half of the boat. Some of the scenes that you see where Dylan and Zoe are teetering, and they built a ship cannon, all kinds of stuff in a soundstage. So
well, they did have a dictator for 50 years, so not a ship cannon.
Did you find that there was a big Troma fan base in Albania? Like working with the crew, anything? Like, what was that like?
The crew, except for the old guy who looked like Dustin Hoffman, they all were fans. They were young and they loved Troma, and we've never, it's the gift of and I talk about it in Sell Your Own Damn Movie, the gift of bootlegging, right? They all had seen at least a half dozen of our movies, so they were all fully, and I think Justin and Schmenk, Gent did a terrific job organizing and the location. Look, the huge boat, the ship, all that stuff. It's amazing. It's great. If you ever make a movie, try Albania.
So it wasn't any
That's
sort.
a quote.
It wasn't any sort of
Approve this
difficult
message.
there. It wasn't any sort of difficult there. You didn't find like.
it was actually proving to be a little more difficult here to find
Really?
a yacht and things like that. It was so expensive. I mean, just one day on the yacht would have cost us an insane amount that we got for, I don't know, a week in Albania, essentially. Right?
Yeah, it was very expensive. So, and there were other things. The commissioner and I met with a number of locations, and the boats just were ridiculous. We could never have done it on anything but that type of a ship.
It would have been, stick figures and little boat. We would have been in a little kiddie pool or something. It wouldn't have been the same.
That might have been endearing. I don't know.
Next one.
Next one. But so. One of my favorite pieces of Troma media is, I mentioned it during the intro, I love Poultry Guys Not a Chicken Den, but Poultry in Motion, the documentary, the making of that. So I'm always interested in what the production process is on the sets, right?
Well, you're in luck because Bjarni, who plays the captain, has been editing a behind the scenes about this movie, and it's called Brown is the Warmest Color. Trust me, it's almost as good as Poultry in Motion. This thing is classic.
I love it. Were there people sleeping on the floor like we had in Poultry in Motion? Or should we just wait until the doc comes
People
out?
had air mattresses. It wasn't
Air
hardwood floors. But yeah, a lot of people, in fact, here in Astoria, we had a place, and it was lovingly dubbed the Shit House. And this is where a lot of the crew and cast would sleep, and some of them went on to form a production company called Shithouse Productions. And they're in Tennessee right now making a movie called Curse of the Werewolf that Lloyd is producing. So it birthed this other production company.
Troma family. Troma. It's a very strong bond when you're on a Troma set.
How long were you guys shooting for in Astoria, or in the New York area?
Principal photography was about 24 days here in New York, and then there was about 6 days in Albania. And then we had a few pickup days here and there, such as at the Brooklyn Fireproof Studios, where we did 2 days in a row. And then we also did some stuff at the YouTube space, because Troma has enough followers on their YouTube channel that we could get a couple of free days there. So we used that space as well.
Which is funny, because you guys had been banned on YouTube somewhat recently, is that right? Like they had taken
This
out
was
all
before
clips.
all that debacle.
This was before all that, I see.
I think we're still okay down there. They like us. It's just the algorithms set to kill the independent companies. But Lily Hayes Kaufman directed that commercial, which was pretty good. Very funny guy.
We're told probably, let's see, 24 plus 6 plus 2 plus another 3 or 4.
Yeah, so
whatever that is.
When you look at it, it's a big deal. I mean, you've got a $50 million movie for under $500,000. And it's probably my last movie, because you young folks are able to make movies with that 10% of that, and they're great. So Brandon Basham's new movie is on, it's called Slashing Part 2, the Final Beginning, and it's in some theaters, and it's on Troma now, the future, but now. And Brian is currently taking time off from directing his film which is currently filming Bring on the Damned. And thank you all for coming. It's wonderful. Bring on the Damned.
So to that
Especially
point,
if you like that movie.
So to that point,
So I think I'm producing more. The younger people, they got it together, you know, and there's a huge amount of talented young people, and it's fun to work with them and steal their idea. I mean, take credit.
But to that point, you say this may be your last film. You've said that.
I think so.
You've said that in interviews. I remember when we first had our meeting, when we had our first meeting, rather, you had mentioned that. And it kind of comes across in Shitstorm. I mentioned before Prospero's final speech, being so vulnerable, so honest. This really does feel like a bittersweet swan song. So are you saying, like, was this purposely made as like your victory lap? It certainly comes across that way. You seem to be saying, you're saying a lot of the things that you've said throughout your career, but you're saying them, in my estimation, better than you ever had before, as clear as you ever had before. So were you conscious of that in the production, that this may be my swan song?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, after we finish shooting, it's very stressful to do this stuff, and you know, it's a dangerous. You know, there's a lot of danger, and that's the scary. In fact, we set that place on fire. If I remember.
There were a few fires. We took care of them, but there were a few.
Nobody's head got chopped off like on the major Twilight Zone and all that. You know, 50 years, knock on wood, we've never had a major. But that's the stuff that scares the crap out of me, pardon the expression. And so at the end of this filming, I did a major tribute to Alfred Hitchcock. I actually got vertigo. And spinning around for 3 days. And also, that being in that suit took a lot out of me, let me tell you. I need some Cialis now.
But Lloyd, interesting fact of Lloyd is that Lloyd directed about, I would say 60% of this movie in drag. Even when the scenes were over. So it's funny because a lot of the other documentaries that you see, there's like maybe 6 or 7 scenes where Lloyd's yelling and stuff. This one was he was very calm. And there was only maybe one time that you blew up. Lloyd, was it because of the drag?
Well, I certainly was a more attractive ugly woman than an ugly man. But I owe my wife, the commissioner, who was there, both calming and you know, I know what'll happen when I get home. So there was a lot of that. She calls herself the dog whisperer. No, not the dog.
Oh, the Lloyd whisperer. It's
Lloyd
absolutely true. And working with Pat Kaufman was an absolute pleasure. There were so many times where I was sitting thinking, how are we going to do this? And Pat would just come around, talk to a couple of people, and everything would be solved. So, to Pat Kaufman.
Well, also, it's the best cast and crew, no joke. I mean, everybody on the film really wanted to make some art. Let's make some art, you know. They really, that was it. I have trouble with everybody's names.
Well, it's just from people that were there for 2 hours to the entire shoot. People contributed insane amounts to this movie that honestly make it better. Yes. Even the smallest bits.
What would be your biggest takeaway from this production, John?
My biggest takeaway would be, well, this is only I can speak from my personal experience, is that sometimes it's good to give yourself away for free. I came to Troma as a editing volunteer, and I edited some of Lloyd to Make Your Own Damn Movie stuff, and I guess he liked it, so I stuck around. Then I got to be his assistant, did that for a few years, then I got to produce a couple of his movies. So with that, I then got to get on a TV show called The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs because I met Justin Martell and Matt Majorides. So I owe a lot to Troma, and I would like to say that Lloyd is such a generous guy, and I wouldn't have the career that I have without him. So thank you, Lloyd.
Well, thank you very, very much. You guys, you certainly take the dues, and that's the thing. It's like a film school in a way. It's the Hudson School of Painting, the Troma School of Filmmaking, kind of. Except we actually pay you a little bit. You don't have to pay $80,000 a year.
It's the best film school. I mean, if you hear that Troma's making a movie and you're an aspiring filmmaker, I would say carve out at least 5 to 10 days to get on that set and do whatever you can because you'll learn a ton.
Well, thanks, John, and thank you, Justin, too, and Commissioner. The mentoring just comes with the position. You know, I'm kind of real, so people can just, you know, sort of be there. And unfortunately, I'm a bit manic depressive, but I think recently both Michael Herzman, who I haven't mentioned, who's only my partner for 50 years, without whom none of this would be, because somehow he keeps the ship afloat. And we keep making these movies that don't really make any money, and yet he's able to keep us out of debt and keep going and all that. So thank you, Michael Hurst, no question about it. He just doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He's very private. Doug Sackman's not here either, who, in terms of practical effects, created a shitstorm in a totally white premises.
Yeah, there were gallons and gallons of shit. I mean, you'll see in the behind the scene how much was made. And then on top of that, we had Eric Fox, who did a lot of the practical effects and melt things and the society type of shunting effects. And then a huge crew of people who just joined up. I mean, some people just showed up on set to be PAs and ended up doing special effects. RJ, for one. Yeah. So it's a lot of people. You come, you don't really have necessarily an assignment over the first course of the few days, and then you fall into place, and you get your things. Also, I'd like to shout out Zach Amico, who wrote he wrote a lot of jokes on set with Floyd. He's talking in the corner, blah blah blah.
Zach is co-directed.
And it directed.
And wrote Zach improvised quite a number of the real Shakespearean couplets. Beta Calypso's in the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, one of the stars. Thank you, Beta, taking the crew in. Well, certainly I've been lucky to make this movie. That total freedom. I don't think anybody there thought about formulaic money or how we're going to make profit or any of that stuff. So I think that's beautiful, and the fact that the commissioner let me make the movie, and we put most of the money is our own money. In fact, Bad Dragon, the good people at Bad Dragon, just as a gift, gave us about 10% of the budget. Yeah, so I appreciate the commissioner. You know. I don't know if everybody, right? It's a lot of money, for retirement and all that stuff. So,
And John, as you're entering, as you're still, quite new to the field, or still quite young, getting to your peak, how do you sum up as a filmmaker and a producer and in this industry? How do you sum it up so far, and what does Shakespeare's Shitstorm say about your role as in the film industry so far?
It's honestly all the time when I'm on set or doing something creative, I sometimes think, what would Lloyd do? There's times when there's seriously something's going wrong on set. You're trying to figure something out. It's like, we come from Troma. We can figure this out. There's no hill that's too high to climb. So and that's because of the great film school that I got from Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hurst, and as well as all the people that I've met through the network of Troma. So Troma will be in my DNA now forever. And anything that I have to do that's difficult, I'll be able to solve it because Troma.
What would Lloyd do?
Yeah.
Someone should put that on the break. Have we thought about this yet?
I'm there for all of you. I've been giving out my cards so that you would see Troma now in the future. But now, the other side has email. I'm I do answer all my own email, and Twitter and Instagram I do myself.
Reach out for some advice.
So I'm very available if anybody has an idea or a script.
Can I send you a script?
Absolutely. I don't know if I'm doing anything, but
maybe coming soon.
Something I'd love to do it. And we have young directors now. Right, Dylan's ready to do a new movie, and Mr. Rocco he's writing something now. Who knows? The young people.
Everybody, have you heard the news? Joe Bob is back in town. Toxic Avenger. Toxic Avenger.
We're here at the after party, and Dylan Mars Greenberg, one of the stars of the film, is going to be doing a performance. So looking forward to it.
Tonight, President is present.
to have you all. Thank you, Dylan Marsh.
And Patty too.
Thank you for coming to the amazing Wolfhound Troma family. And for those of you who didn't get into the sold-out museum, thanks to Jesse, go to the Cinema Village down in the Greenwich Village. We'll be there tomorrow with the commissioner and the stars. And now, may I present the person who wrote the theme song for Shakespeare, #Shakespeare Shitstorm, the person who has brought you a host of amazing movies like The Spirit's Riser, Dylan Mars Greenberg.
Thank you so much, Floyd. What kind of storm is it?
Shitstorm!
That's right, here we go. Toxic, go Toxic.
I'm here with one of the stars of #Shakespeare Shitstorm, who plays Trini, and also the person who wrote the theme song for the movie. I'm here with Dylan Mars Greenberg, who is an artist, songwriter, producer, and director in their own right. Dylan, how are you?
Hi, was having one of the worst days of my life, and now it's so much better. The last 30 minutes completely changed everything. Well, and the film script, let's say the last 4 hours have completely turned my life around. Now I'm doing a lot better.
Well, Matt, who's on video, and myself, we saw the premiere at the Museum of the Moving Image tonight of #Shakespeare Shitstorm, and I got to admit, I think, and I've been a Troma fan now for 30 years. Wow. I think it's the best Troma film yet, and definitely the inclusion of all the cast and everybody involved.
It's a great ensemble cast, like a Poseidon Adventure. One of my favorite ensemble cast films. Reminds me a bit of that. I'm sort of the Shelley Winters of this film.
Definitely, you were wonderful in the film. I really enjoyed you as Trini. That was a very funny role, and I didn't know what to expect, but you killed it.
Thank you so much. I was a child actor, but it was my first role, actually a principal role in a feature film as an adult, I believe.
Right, and you did have a brief part in Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2.
I got my nose ripped off.
Which, again, another very funny and entertaining scene.
What a rip-off. Haha.
Womp womp. What I loved about the theme song Shitstorm was the fact that it really has that 80s synth pop, Erasure, Depeche Mode style.
You just named two of my favorite groups, and do you know why?
Why?
Both featured Vince Clarke. Vince Clarke did the first Depeche Mode album, which is my personal favorite, and then he formed Yazoo, and then he formed Erasure, and he is a huge influence on my work. I love Vince Clarke.
See, we don't just promote metal and hardcore on the Music is Live podcast, we promote good music, and Dylan knows good music because Dylan writes good...
I like all kinds of music. Do you know Vomit Fist?
Vomit Fist, I'd have to check that out.
They're grindcore, they're awesome, and the lead guitarist is Nick Didkovsky, who I've done some collaborations with as well, but he's so cool, and he's also played with Alice Cooper. He just played on my band Theophobia's song The Loop, and it's him and his beautiful son Leo Didkovsky and Malcolm Hoyt, and they're a super group, and they've been around since I was a little teenager, and they let me come to their shows when I was underage and party when no one else would let me, and they're a fantastic group. If you like especially grindcore, you're gonna love Vomit Fist. They're, I would say, god tier grindcore.
That's very cool. A similar story that one of our guests just shared, Baron Mizuraka of Carnivore ED. He used to go to see the Plasmatics with Wendy O. Williams underage.
That rules. I will say this. I would not be anywhere I am today if people didn't let me into bars before I was 21 to perform and even just watch. There need to be more all-ages spaces for young people to experience music and get off the streets so they're not doing drugs and hurting themselves.
And this is why the show's name is Music is Life.
Exactly.
Now, one cool thing you did tonight, though, was you had John Brennan come on stage and jam on a song that you did for your film Reagitator, which is available right now for streaming on Troma Now.
They told me it was on there, and I believe I actually did get a royalty check from Troma, so good luck to Troma for sending me a royalty check. Most distributors would not bother. Yeah, I mean, he had made that song before, Reagitator, but I used to sit behind John when we worked in the Troma office, and I would jam out to his Bandcamp, and I was like, John, I gotta do something with this song, Don't Get It Twisted. I'm a big Beck fan, and it reminds me of Sex Laws by Beck.
That's a great one.
Great song.
If people want to find out more about you or anything you're directing, please take this time to plug your stuff.
I would say the best way to get all Dylan-related news is to follow me at Dylan Mars Greenberg. I'm sure you can put the correct spelling underneath.
Absolutely.
And then my band is called Theophobia, which also, both things are a little weird to spell, but if you put the graphic down at the bottom, I'm sure they'll find it. But yeah, honestly, the best way, follow me on Instagram, and then that has links to all my other stuff, because otherwise it's too many links to count.
Totally gotcha. By the way, it was really cool that your dad came tonight to support you. That was awesome.
Are you a wrestling fan?
Yes, I am, actually.
Do you know that my dad wrote the book To Be the Man? He co-wrote it with Ric Flair.
Really?
That was a New York Times bestseller, so if you are a wrestling fan, you should actually interview my dad.
We'll put the plug in the description below.
I grew up with all these wrestlers as a kid. I was actually like a little junior helper for the Iron Sheik when I was a kid, because my dad said, if you're going to be under this roof, you got to get to work. And he taught me work ethic. He said, you're going to go work for the Iron Sheik. You're going to learn, how to work. And he taught me what I know.
Dylan, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me so much.
No problem. I'm here with one of the other stars of #Shakespeare Shitstorm. She played Ariel, forgive me for saying this, but the crack whore. Her name is Amanda Flowers, and she is amazing. Amanda, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? I mean, it's okay. You can call me a crack whore anytime you want.
I would never call a lady such a horrible thing. I'm just saying that was the role you played, but that was hilarious.
It was very cathartic to play a crack whore, I gotta say. Like, it really suited me. I felt like it was a part of me that I always wanted to unlock all along.
I need to ask, how hard was it not to break character while filming?
Well, it wasn't too hard, because when you're sitting in the wheelchair, it's just so easy to feel you feel like you're in this big costume, kind of. So even when I wasn't technically on, like in the middle of a scene or something, I still always felt like confined to this character and this big jalopy, sort of. One of like the biggest challenges of the role was figuring out how to do the robot voice. Because when we did that on set, I was...
You were using your real voice, right?
Exactly.
So I guess in post ADR, they ran your voice through a processor?
They did, and the way that I spoke the word...
Sorry, we're breaking special effects rules.
The way that I had to convey the lines at the time was sort of like halfway in between. So it was really goofy sounding. It was like, like a very honking sort of a thing just to get some kind of inflection in the lines for when they end up doing that in post. So that was more of a challenge than anything else, I gotta say.
I hear you. One thing though, we have to say, for the first time ever, I'm gonna say thank you to the New York Times because they just reviewed #Shakespeare Shitstorm and you made it onto the page.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, I can't even believe that they reviewed it and they reviewed it positively, too. Like, I was so grateful. And, it's just amazing to see, like, all the work that everybody put into this, like, getting coverage and stuff, so.
Do you have any other acting work lined up?
I do. I have, so I'm in Dylan Mars Greenberg's newest film that's coming out probably at the end of the year called Spirit Riser. And Dylan played Trini in the movie.
Sorry, Dylan was awesome in it.
Yeah, Dylan's amazing. Dylan's like an amazing director, like totally prolific as well. Started directing when she was like 18, 19, 16. I don't even fucking know. When I was that age, oops, I said the F word.
We can curse. It's okay. It's YouTube, not Disney Channel.
PP.
Adorable. Well, that's cool though. So is there anywhere that people can find out more about you or connect with you on the internet?
Yeah, well, I'm on Instagram as Amanda Flowers, and anybody just, whatever, just say hello or something.
Links in the description below. Amanda Flowers, #Shakespeare Shitstorm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Well, I'm definitely at a Troma party because there's a bunch of dancers behind me. Perfectly in sync, mind you.
Pretty good rhythm. Actually, pretty good rhythm from Lucky and Ryan.
I am here with Rocco Sevenbergen, the director of I Need You Dead, which Lloyd actually is in.
Yeah,
Rocco, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
No problem. Well, thanks for having us as guests here at the after party at the Wolfhound. Did I get that right?
That's right, the
All right,
Wolfhound.
because I called it the Wolf Den before. Wolf Den's another place.
No, Wolfhound, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you, how do you feel about tonight's representation of #Shakespeare Shitstorm at the Museum of the Moving Image?
It was great. We had a great night. We're super happy with how the premiere went. Jesse with the Museum of the Moving Image.
Jesse of the Museum of the Moving Image.
Who made it all happen, who let us open the door to us. And
It's been an honor.
Yeah, and we sold out. It was super fun. Everybody had a great time. Lots of laughs from the audience, and just super stoked to be sharing independent art with the people of New York City.
And again, I say it's the best Troma film I've ever seen. Now, you have a film of your own that's out right now called I Need You Dead, which Lloyd does have a cameo in it, and it was shot here in Queens?
It was not, actually.
Well, it looked like Queens.
It was shot in Portland, Oregon, which is where I'm originally from. So 8 months ago, I moved here from Portland, Oregon, and started working for Lloyd at Troma. Funny enough, I Need You Dead is not a Troma movie. It was not distributed by Troma.
That's correct.
But Lloyd is in it, and it was heavily influenced by Troma, and I learned everything I needed to know about filmmaking by working on #Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Now, where can people find your film? Because it is available for purchase on Amazon Prime streaming.
That is correct. It's on DVD through Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Best Buy. You can buy it basically anywhere. And in terms of where to rent it, Vudu, Amazon Prime. You can get it on Apple TV. It's everywhere.
And do you have anything else you have lined up in the works?
Yeah, we got a new movie called Flapjacks coming up. If you are an independent anywhere in the world who wants to work on a feature film and get an education in filmmaking, contact me at rocco.badtaste@gmail.com, and you are welcome to join our crew and use it as a learning experience.
Link in the description below. Rocco, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Keep it in bad taste.
All right, we just got back from the after party at the Wolfhound, I think it's called. And we just finished watching #Shakespeare Shitstorm, the
new Troma film directed by Lloyd Kaufman. What'd you think, Matt?
I thought it was great. I like how it's very politically incorrect.
It's the best way to explain it, absolutely. It's very politically incorrect. It does trigger snowflakes in the film of any and all kind. I definitely think it was a major statement from Mr. Kaufman. You know, for a man who's 75 years old, I don't think he's lost any. He hasn't lost it. He has not lost it at all.
No, it definitely hasn't.
Well, it would suck if this is his last film, but you know what? If it is, great way to go out, you know? So, but yeah, I give the film a 10 out of 10. I really have to say it was the best Troma film I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot. I mean, and Toxic Avenger was my favorite. And for both of us, I could say it was our first time seeing breasts in a movie. So.
Yes, thanks, Dad.
Lloyd, your dad? No, just kidding.
Well, if he wants to be. He did introduce me to breasts first, just like my actual dad did too, so, yeah, cool.
Daddies, they do us something good. Anyways, we're going to head home right now, so thanks for watching the Music is Live podcast. Check us out over at musicisLivePodcast.com. I know I have to set up the website. Until then, check out RatsReview.com for all the other shows on the network. Till then, this is Lou Mavs, Matt Mikolow. Matt, you want to plug anything?
Yeah, you know, you should get this group I heard about, M3 Media Strategies to fix your website.
Fix your website and work on your social media and take charge of your search engine optimization. What's the website? www.m3mediastrategies.com. Correct?
Look at that. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hit them up if you're looking to build up a website or if you want to improve your website. And you can plug AlphaFlex too.
And if you want to not be fat anymore, because fat is
not healthy.
Not healthy, but you're supposed to not fat shame, but we fat shame at AlphaFlex. So
you get results.
If you want to basically improve yourself, it doesn't matter what shape you actually are. Come to AlphaFlex. We can make a custom plan for you. And we can make you lift some really heavy weights and become really strong.
And the best thing is you can listen to the music that you like. Hopefully it's metal. And also Kokomoka Media.
Also Kokomoka Media. Those videos come out every so often, very sporadic. I do it in my free time. So you can check them out at Kokomoka Media on YouTube. Just type it in, it'll pop up. I don't think anyone's copying our name.
Nope. And also check out Matt's podcast with Cindy Gyram called The Good News Crew. So that's available on all streaming platforms. And again, musicisLivePodcast.com, RatsReview.com. Thanks for watching the show. Thank you, Troma, John Brennan, Lloyd Kaufman, everybody involved for giving us a great night.
Oh, yeah. One more shameless plug while we're at it.
Go ahead.
If you're looking to sing on music and you don't have the ability to create music, check out Mikolow Beats. Hit me up, and we can custom make a beat for you. We can custom make any sort of instrumentals you might need.
Rumor has it he's working on the next beat for David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
We don't hassle the Hoff.
Bring back that piano scarf.
Like a true survivor. All right, everyone. Cheers, and remember, all art is valid. Have a good night. Thanks.